Ian, we got a. Oh, we're in the 300th episode, right? Mm-hmm. 300th episode. You want to talk about memories? 300th episode memories.
Yeah. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go through.
Do you have any memories of the past 300 episodes?
We're gonna go through some hash browns, some hashtags, some hashtaroids. That's a memory. I just can't believe how fast this has accelerated since we started going weekly. That's probably the first thing that I would say.
It's been weekly for 2 years now, at least 2 years.
It's got to be over 2 years.
It's 2 years. I think I started early 2020. If it was before the pandemic, it was weekly, I believe.
Yeah, it was well before the pandemic that it was weekly. I think it's
2.5 years.
Because I think we stopped doing, I think by the time we switched over from every 2 weeks to every week, we were already at about 150 episodes. And then 3 years would make sense. That would add about another 150.
Okay. I'm not sure it was 3 full years, but maybe 2.5. But either way, 300 is a lot. Yeah.
And it's been easier. I stopped counting, and I said it on Twitter, but I'll say it again because it's true. You said that this has been going on for 8+ years now.
8.5.
I stopped counting at 5. Anytime someone asks me how long I've been doing the podcast, I say 5 years. I don't know why, but my brain just stopped adding years once we hit the 5-year anniversary.
Well, I've already been here 4 years at Castle Contra. It's already been 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's almost half the podcast was here, which is weird to think about. Half the timeline of the podcast was here.
We weren't every week by the time you moved here?
No.
No?
Okay. We were still, because I had Kieran doing the editing, I believe.
Yeah.
Was that part of the weekly? No, he started when it wasn't weekly. That's right. And then it went weekly, I believe. Yeah. I'll look it up. I think it was anyway, we're getting off the topic.
There is no real topic. I mean, we're talking about 300 episodes of the podcast. We're talking podcast. We're talking podcast.
Has it evolved in ways you didn't see from the start?
I mean, not really. I think we've pretty much stayed on point. We stopped covering wrestling. We don't cover movies as much. Those things never really did particularly well for us anyways.
Well, I got tired of wrestling too.
Yeah.
It was an abusive relationship.
Yeah, no, it absolutely
watching
was.
Wrestling.
I haven't watched wrestling. I have not watched wrestling probably longer than the Saudi Arabia deal, but at least as long as the Saudi Arabia deal.
And that deal's around for what, 3 years already?
Yeah, that was
3.5 years.
And I mean, so probably 4.5 years. That last year that I was watching it was real off and on. It was the occasional pay-per-view, and I don't think I've watched anything WWE since. But I do kind of miss it. I was talking to Vonnie. I miss enjoying good wrestling, but I'm not in any sort of hurry to rush out and just start watching wrestling again because I miss talking about it. I don't see anything that really interests me with it.
Spudmate said, listening Pat complain about past jobs was always great. Also, the Let's Play series was fun while it lasted. For like the 2 months.
I hated it.
Well, you were sick.
I was sick,
when we recorded.
Which was probably part of it. But I'm really bad about like doing anything on command or when I know I'm being recorded, I clam up and I get overly.
Being recorded now.
Yeah, but I've been doing this for so long, and I guess that's different. I guess that's the difference. Maybe if I had been doing the Let's Play stuff for longer, I would have been more into it.
Not a happy memory, but I remember Ian's mystery illness and his struggle to get a diagnosis and recover. The episodes without him felt emptier. I'm glad he made it through.
That's another thing that I feel like I've stopped counting. I got over being sick about a year ago in my head. It's always about a year ago. I got over being sick. It's got to be like 2.5 years at this point.
From Matt, ranch dressing, scumbag seller from Australia. That still could be the best one. That was the thing about my dad died with the fake air raid.
Oh, that was that was one of the best scumbag sellers.
That was only a couple years in, I think. That was fairly early.
And that was one that we I think there was follow-ups to that one.
One of the follow-up.
One or two. That was one of the few scumbag sellers that ever got like a follow-up that became more of a story than just a spot on the show.
Used printer trouble. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
I will never buy. What company was that? I don't want to say the wrong company. HP. I will never buy an HP product ever again.
I feel like they're the only company that makes fucking printers.
Oh no, Brother.
I got Brother.
Brothers. There's like 3 or 4 still. Lexmark. There's a few.
Epson.
Shaq always talks about his with like Is this fill and print? What, you get your own little vials to put in instead of like the cartridges. Oh, there's a lot. Brother makes a great printer. HP, no, that was bad. That was a whole fucking saga, buying a brand new printer at a garage sale and not being able to use it because the fucking ink cartridges are DRMs, and the starter cartridges had expiration dates on them. Digital expiration dates on printer cartridges. Cannot make this shit up.
Yeah, so they scan it and they tell you.
Meaning if you didn't start using that new printer within a certain amount of time, Ian, with those cartridges, it becomes dead, the hardware.
Yep.
I had a dead printer that was never used before. How fuck... Getting pissed again. I talked to the really nice customer service lady. Tried to help me out. But I'd explained to her, we walked ourselves through the dilemma. She's like, oh, well, maybe you can go to find another one in the store that's brand new. And I said, the cartridges have an expiration date on them.
Yeah.
So even he's got upset.
He's falling over.
The Ballad of Mike Kennedy / Chameleon, or the Retro ABS, that's right. Tim Atwood becoming our savior. Wada collusion. Slow withering of the Amico. It's still withering. The Collectionist. GameStop's Retro Initiative. God, you were gone through part of that. The Retro Initiative of GameStop.
I was around for enough of it because I clearly remember talking about it.
Wow.
But yeah, that was rough. The AVS Retro Chameleon stuff is funny because someone pointed it out the other day. And I always kind of knew this in my head, but to put it in perspective, that stuff didn't last a year.
I thought it was about a year between Retro AVS and Chameleon. A year and a half, maybe?
There was a good enough break between.
There was a break.
There was a break, but I mean, Chameleon itself was only was less than a year.
Yes, Chameleon itself was like spring of like 15 to like, fall like 15 to like spring of 16.
Fall, because fall is when the toy show is, I believe.
No, fall was the early the next year. That's when it started falling apart. But they announced that Indiegogo. It was like 8 months span is what it was.
Right.
What else?
The Tim Atwood stuff was interesting.
I got to meet Tim before he passed away. Ian's triumphant return after defeating NES.
Tim passed away?
Oh, yeah.
Tim Atwood did?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Passed away. About a year and a half ago. Ian's triumphant return after defeating NES. Oh, yes, the Goldberg intro.
Agnes, yeah.
From worry to relief and laughter, so many emotions. Yeah, Ian hated that. I did that. I did a fake out, but it was great. Ian hates half of the things I think of. People loved it. I don't have any memories.
I don't like swerves with real life people.
It was great. I don't have any memories that haven't already been mentioned, but I do want to say thanks for a great podcast. Thank you, Kate. While the questions, this is from Dad Ass coming in, the Q&A goat, who by the way gave $100 to the San Diego Zoo.
I saw that was
great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Everyone should give some money to the San Diego Zoo. While the questions from this Q&A goat have become scarcer, I'm thankful to both of you for allowing me to become a minor footnote in CU podcast history. The friends I've made from listening have been a blessing in my life, and that I'm forever grateful. There's a CU podcast community that we don't talk about too much, and they're good folks. And that's the thing about being a content creator, is that you want to cater and like your community reflects you. I feel, and what you do, and that's what we've tried to come across, and that's why we sort of come out on the side of I feel good over the past years and calling out bad actors and behaviors, even other influencers. You know, I got some heat. Ian was gone for part of it, here for some of it, with like calling out all the shit that PewDiePie used to do and things like that. And you want to have.
I got plenty of heat for that. I said something about his heart.
Oh yeah, his heart was a sewage pump. That was good. What? There's fun stuff that's happened, but you want to make sure that the people that follow you like kind of reflect your own beliefs and your own morality as much as you can.
Yeah, everyone I've met who's been a fan of the CU podcast has been, for largely a very good person.
I don't want assholes following me or listen to me. Like I don't prefer that. If they do, hopefully we can change their mind in certain things. Maybe it's set an example. Every single scumbag sell of the week, especially all the cats selling emulators and ROMs.
That was fun, but it got to the point where we couldn't really do much of anything else with Scumbag Seller because there's tons of those. We could either do a Scumbag Seller every week and just rail on the same shit, or wait until they're slightly different. So that's kind of why that Despite the fact that there's no shortage of scumbag sellers, we can only call out people selling ROMs on a flash drive so many times before you've heard it before.
That was from JC3. Here's the next one. Congrats on the show. The infamous air raids for sale in Australia is always my go-to. I guess that was a good one. Also, I also love the Just One podcast.
I would love Just One podcast.
Love Just One gets dedicated to Bloodsport in a similar way you did Spider-Man. Oh, they mean just a conversation. Yeah, we can do a Bloodsport thing at one point. Just because it came out in the 80s don't mean we can't review it. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I've always enjoyed this guy's screen name, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Crip. Kick a Toddler.
Kick a Toddler.
Yep.
Okay, I respect that. Some toddlers deserve a kick every now and then.
I feel similarly.
The Tales from the Game Store with the Sword Guy and Pat commenting that Luna wasn't a store in an RPG.
In my head, the podcast already feels different just because I no longer work at Luna. It's a whole chunk of conversation that is just eliminated from the podcast. It is kind of sad to think that there will never be another podcast episode where I show up and I say, you know what? Someone tried to sell me a fucking third sword. It's not going to happen. Only two swords.
Early podcasts got me through some tough times. Have since gotten engaged, which is a double-edged sword. Okay. I've gotten her into the pod, but anytime I use the word update or phrase, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
She can't help herself but repeat. Good thing I never say big.
Big.
Let's see. At Link 2, we answered a question from them October 23rd, 2013.
Jeez.
Wow, okay.
That's got to be
Long
like
time.
right at the beginning because we started like August of that year.
We started, it was the end of July.
I think the first upload is like August 5th or something.
End of June or July.
Yeah.
No, I uploaded within a day or two. I got it up. I got to look it up. But it was around that time, or maybe a couple days. This is from at F1 Mid Boss, been around for a lot. I also really laughed at Pat's dad joke. Did you enjoy the multiplication as well in response to Ian's enjoying the division? Ian, some of my jokes either Ian ignores or doesn't hear when I get these little side jokes and I ad lib when he's explaining something. I've been doing a marathon of podcasts from 2020 to now looking for that segment. Oh wow, that's going to be a tough one to find there. From F1 Mid Boss. There was a time Frank randomly called in the middle of the podcast to ask how to make the volume louder on his new iPhone.
I recall that.
Frank never had an iPhone. He had an Android, but that's unless he gave up his iPhone. But I don't remember that at all. I didn't put him on the air. I just talked to him like this, probably.
I don't remember, but I do remember him calling me about that. Yeah, it was here.
Okay, I don't remember that at all. Ian describing the Nintendo PlayStation auction being the biggest wet shit of a live watch.
That was, I mean,
it was disappointing. It was. That
wasn't meant to be like insulting anyone, but like in terms
bad.
of what like it was hyped up to be.
Yes.
It was
yeah. People were saying 1 million, 2 million more, and it was
300.
Who would have think
something?
Who would have think that the first $1 million game would have been Mario 64? Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Versus something that was actually like one of a kind, like that. This is from Yazin. The whole Amico saga was so incredible because of how long it's been part of the podcast.
This was what I saw.
The first clip it wasn't published. It was published in mid 2018. Yeah, it was like late summer, I think, 2018. It's been 3.5 years. Comparatively, the Click with Mewling didn't even last year. This is one of my favorite ones ever. Earlier one within the first 3 years at R1 Spam YouTube. Your Rooster Teeth versus Jeff Gertzman segment on YouTube was how I found you guys. Couple of quote drunken podcasters telling how it's.
I don't even know what the hell that's about.
The Jeff Gertzman.
I know who Jeff Gertzman is. I generally like.
We
him.
love Jeff.
Yeah,
I love Jeff.
I like Jeff.
OG journalists. He gave a non-favorable review to what's the survival game? Fallout. What's the one with the gauntlet?
Oh, was that's not that early? Fallout 4, and then there was the Rooster Teeth where they're all wearing the Pip Boys.
Rooster Teeth had the fucking balls to claim that Jeff was being hard on them for some nefarious reason for attention while wearing their sponsored fucking Fallout wrist gauntlets.
They later responded that they were ones that they had actually bought, but it doesn't...
They were sponsored, though, by that game.
It does not look good to fanboy for something and then...
Fanboy for something that gives you money and then calling out a reputable journalist for not liking the game. It was a really bad look.
Fallout 4 does kind of suck.
I don't know if that got a lot of views, that segment. I'm guessing it did at the time. But boy, we tore into them. Like it was like, and I never went after Rooster Teeth in the past or knew who those people were that did that, but that was ridiculous. That was it.
No,
that
it was just bad. One of those things that flatly, blatantly on its face was ridiculous.
They looked bad. This is from Steve Kennedy. The time you were called drunken. Yes, that's a good Mike Kennedy. Are you related to Mike Kennedy, Steve Kennedy? Please use the anyway sound effect. I don't use it well enough.
Anyway.
This is from Nerdy Sasquatch. The Pokemon Planet episode of Tales from the Game Store gets me every time. That was a good one. Television Miko. You guys roasting the Fine Brothers for their React world. They tried to claim that a format could be copyrighted and that all reaction stuff owed them tribute. The Fine Brothers.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. That was around.
It was bad.
That reminds me, it's hard to put into words exactly, but that just reminds me of a weird time in YouTube history where everyone was like trying to get big and claim. It was very strange.
You're trying to get what, Ian?
Big.
I love Chibi UFO, another long timer.
Mm-hmm.
I love when you guys discuss when Denny's had Atari games on their app and website. Ian almost died from laughter. I still almost remember falling to the ground from laugh so hard. So there was a weird response from people thinking that Atari teaming up with Denny's had tarnished, like some of the OG people, probably people on Atari age, that had tarnished Atari's reputation by partnering with Denny's. Oh boy, the naivety from where we've gone from there to now about how Atari's name has been dragged through the fucking mud.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like you're worried about like a cute little Hastroids game?
Right.
Like, and Centipede Pups, whatever it was.
I looked it up. It was takeout instead of breakout, Centipup instead of Centipede for the pancake puppies, and then the number one greatest of all time, Hastroids, which replaces your ship with a bottle of ketchup and replaces all of the asteroids with patties of hash browned potatoes.
That's 2014?
2014. That was long.
Only a year in the podcast? That was 8 years ago almost?
Yeah, I knew that one was long. I thought
maybe a couple of years. A few more. This is from Kanocha37. The Tales from the Game Store about Ian with the eagle. Was it an eagle? No, it was a falcon. Falcon.
I called it an eagle, but it was clearly a falcon.
And I thought that dressing as cardboard Iron Man is so great.
In my early tellings of it, because I was like flustered, I kept saying eagle, but it was definitely a falcon.
Talking about the first preview of the Switch, how you both had predictions but were better than most. Yeah. We didn't think it was going to be a failure.
I assumed it could be tricky, but I said
this is going to be a success. I didn't think it would be this is going to be a success.
Once its actual form factor was revealed, I was much more pro.
How Ian wants to slap his dick on the Atari VC.
And I don't really.
Yeah, there you go. There's a few more here, but thanks so much for those memories. Some more about the Jaguar and the Retro VGS, Coleco Chameleon saga. Every time Pat mentions an NFT, cracks me up. Pat's love of Double Dragon and Ian just mehing him. No, he hates it. Doesn't meh. He actively hates it.
Just the first one.
At LJ Cruz, I restarted. I'm going through episode 1 to now 28. Wow, why put yourself through that hell, sir?
I don't want this to sound insulting because I love the fact that there are people who like what we do enough to go back, but especially with our podcast, even if you think there are funny bits to it, I just can't imagine sitting through that much old news presented as new.
Unless they like us doing a lot of the Q&As we did back then. Crazy this show got me through high school, college, and now the beginning of my career. I miss Ian Snyder rants, and I'm still waiting for part 2 of mayonnaise shaving cream guy. No, it was ranch dipping sauce.
Ranch buttermilk house sauce.
Yes.
That is a weird thing, and I got that at Luna too, but we've been doing this long enough now that people have grown up listening to this podcast.
Oh, I've seen it through the YouTube career.
Yeah.
It's when you have someone say I was 10, now I'm out of college, and I'm like, what? It's like, what happened?
It's nuts.
Early podcasts got me through some tough times. Have since gotten engaged. Okay, I went through that one. Double-edged sword getting engaged.
Well, I mean, once you read his whole comment, it makes more sense.
It's just funny how that comes off. When Ian shouted big news, of course. I remember when Pat did it solo for a while, and it sucked. Love Ian. Well, thanks for the back. I mean, like, yeah, it wasn't as good, but holy shit, I suffered for myself doing them for 5 months. I mean, come on. I put out content. Come on, Reno Collector. No appreciation for Pat at all during that? Okay.
Unfortunately, it does not look like any of those Denny's games are still playable.
Oh
anywhere.
no.
Yeah, I tried to find Hashsteroids. Honestly, just brings up a lot of advertisements for hash and marijuana.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we got here.
We have to call the Video Game History Foundation to make sure these are preserved.
Yeah.
These games going forward. Are you serious? You can't get those anywhere?
No, when you click the link that's in the articles, it takes you to it's like Greatest Hits Remixed or something, and then you click on it and it takes you to some like music website now. But this is how the internet is, and this is the sort of shit people talk about when they talk about NFTs being a problem. You give it 3 to 4 years, most links that you had 3 to 4 years ago aren't going to the same places anymore. Everything
Was it called
changes.
link rot, or what's the term called? When
It's something like that.
URLs just go bad because the servers are gone, or the URLs are just gone,
or pages got moved and shuffled, so the original addresses don't point to anything anymore.
and people were saying that we can use the blockchain for like fucking medical records and driver's licensing. Are you fucking crazy? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
The blockchain can't hold that stuff. It can hold a link that points to it.
That's what
I know. I'm not.
People are like, we should have all that.
Getting sassy with you.
All that great information out there. That
just getting sassy.
Well, you don't have to get sassy.
I start sassy.
Yeah, well,
Zero is sassy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our memories. It's been a fun 300. We'll see how long the train goes for. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
And yeah, it's been a trip. It's been a more, I'd say, effective way of engaging with the audience at a more regular basis, obviously, than doing back when I was doing like one big video a month or two or 1.5. I mean, I used to average one video a month of NES Punk or Flea Market Madness or both. Like that, you got feedback, but it wasn't constant. This is constant feedback, all the time.
And it's
more about obviously news that is.
You are presenting yourself as yourself. You are not a character here as well. That's the other big difference.
Yeah, sure.
People got to know you. It wasn't just people, being a fan of a character. It was.
And I get both.
I'm a fan of you now.
I hate the NES Punk stuff. Love the podcast. I love the podcast stuff, and hate the NES stuff. NES Punk. You get both. It's weird how you get there, or it depends on how you found it. Or I like past personality in the NES Punk videos, or I like him better in the podcast. Like, what are you gonna do?
So since this is all over Twitter, I just want to bring this up real quick. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says that he is doing another video game movie. That's the announcement as of this morning. He has not said who is doing what video game.
Pokemon first-person shooter.
It is, but he is doing one. There have been some good suggestions so far.
He did what? He did Doom. He did Rampage. So he's done 2.
I'd like to see him do a Hamtaro movie. My good dear friend John and co-host of Extra Napkins says that he would play a good King of the Cosmos from Katamari Damacy. That would be fun to see as well. But yeah, what video game could it be?
He was supposed to be in Spy Hunter way back. That was ready to go 15 years ago. Spy Hunter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe he's bringing it back.
The game is out. They put out the game.
With his voice
never came out. Yeah.
We're gonna bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen. One that I've played for years. Fortnite the movie. There you go. Fortnite was starting the rock.
Could be
Minecraft. He's gonna look like a Minecraft character. That's what you're gonna do.
I'm one step closer to trying Minecraft again. I downloaded it onto my PC.
I played it when we went to Radies the one time.
Yeah, I tried playing it for 15 seconds at Radies, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let this kid do it. He's gonna be better.
All right, we got that in this segment at some point.
Yep,
we're done. This is what you get in the podcast. We just blabber and we end the segments.
That's what we do.